Today, we're going to learn a little bit about Megillas Rus, forthcoming Yontif of Shavuot, and these are a few chapters to the topic that we're going to speak, and we'll see how much we'll be able to accomplish today in the first series of Shiurim of Shavuot. Let's get a little historical background before we start. As I always say, there is 14 generations from the Zeit von Avram Avinu bis Dovid haMelech. Avram, Yitzchak, Yankev, Yehuda. Yehuda has two children, Peretz and Zerach. Peretz has a son called Chetzroin. Chetzroin has a son called Rom, who has a son called Aminodov. Aminodov has a son called Nachshon. Nachshon ben Aminodov, bewusst. This Nachshon ben Aminodov, Achois Nachshon is the sister of Nachshon, was married, Elisheva was married to Aaron HaKohen. Nachshon ben Aminodov, steht in the Gemara in Bava Basra, has 4 children. haMelech, from the Megillas Rus, Avi Noemi, Noemi, who was the wife of haMelech, I don't know if anybody knows, married her uncle, father's brother. The uncle, who is unidentified, is called the Goyel, and he's called in the Megillah Ploini Almoini. And the 4th brother is Shalmoin or Salmo, pending Divrei Hayomim, or Rus, Avi Boaz. Boaz has a son, marries Rus, as we can learn in the Megillah, who has a son together, Dovid, the son Yishai, and the son Dovid. Machloin and Kilyoin are both children of haMelech. Machloin and Kilyoin in the Megillah married 2 women, Shema Achad, Shema Achas Orpa, V'Shem Hashenis Rus. Vayisulam Noshim Oyaviyos. And those 2 people die, Machloin and Kilyoin. By the way, in Tesis Iksuba state, just as a side secret, that Rus was married to Machlin and to Kilya. But we will not get involved. In any event, Rus is Almona from Machlin Pashta, so according to Rishonim, Machlin and Kilya. And haMelech dies, Nomi remains Almona, and she has 2 daughters-in-law, Orpa and Rus. Orpa makes a U-turn and returns to El Amo ve'el Elohea, and Rus Dovko b'Chamoisa. And now Chamoisa wants to rebuild. She wants to reconstitute this household which fell apart. In Ramban in Parshas Vayeshev state in the Maaseh from Yehuda and Tamar that in Doros Rishonim there used to be a Yibum. The concept of Yibum was not limited davka to a sister-in-law, Eishes Ames, but the concept of Yibum was in the Mishpacha. If for some Almona left V'Zera Ein Lo, so haKoroiv Koidem, anybody who was the right of first refusal was given to the one who is the most related to the mace. So she comes So what is Boaz to Rus prior to their marriage? Boaz is the son of Salmon, who is a brother of Elimelech, who is the father of Machlin and Kilian, and Rus is a wife of Machlin. So she is a daughter-in-law of Elimelech, who is a brother to Pliny Amoni, who is also a brother to Salmon Avi Boaz, and Boaz is a first cousin to Machlin. Boaz's father Salmon and Machlin's father Elimelech were brothers. But on the upper generation, the third son of Nachshon ben Aminadov was Pliny Almoni, the uncle Pliny Almoni. He was closer to Rus, because he was closer to Machlin, he was an uncle, whereby Boaz was only a first cousin. So she comes in, and she's coming to be available to marry her late husband's first cousin. And Boaz tells her, there's somebody more, you read the Megillah, you don't know Vastutzach, but I'm just putting it on, just bepashtis. Says Boaz, I am a first cousin of your late husband. But Uncle Toiv, Uncle Pliny Almoni, is a brother to your late father-in-law, Elimelech. So he should have a right to first refusal. Okay, so we get to the Pliny Almoni. They go to the Pliny Almoni and Merim B'Shidduch. And they say, perhaps there's a young woman here, has no children, she was married to your nephew Machlin, perhaps you pick up and you marry her, you have a right of first refusal. If you look in reference number 3, Nachalosi Zari, says Rashi, Kimoi Nachalas Hashem Bonim, Loseis Bgam Bezari, Sheneemar Loyove Amonu Moyavi, Vetob Amonu V'Lamis. He made a mistake. He said, now, Rus, who was Rus? The Gemara states there's 4 different sources to Rus. The Gemara states that she was a daughter of Egloin Melech Moyav. Taisa says it can't design she was a daughter. It doesn't work out with the cheshbon of the generations. She couldn't have been a daughter. She was a granddaughter, a great-granddaughter, different Girsos, in Taisa Sinazir, in Sefer Oirach Misha Rafnozir, is a long arichas about putting exactly Rus, Baal Koponim, she's the Einikel of Egel Melech Moav. We know in the Surah, in Lobe Bekol, in Pashas Kisei, it says, Lo Yova Amonu Moavi Bichlal Hashem. So he was Toya, the Goyal made a mistake in Amoni, V'lo Amonis. We know the other nations also now on a Moshel. Mitzri. There's no Aloha Mitzri, V'lo Mitzris. Chayvelav Adumi. There's no Aloha Adumi. There's no distinction between Adoimi and Adoimis. They're both the same thing. So the Goyal comes along and says, I cannot be Goyal. Lo Yuchal Li Goyal. I cannot be Goyal. Pen ashchis es nachalosi, because I may be poigem bezari. Why? Rashi says, it brings from Chazal, what's pen efgoim bezari? Maybe my kindalach come. Now, what's the halach if somebody is Baal Chayvelavim? We know a Mishnah, there's 14 different Chayvelavim. Machlekes, Bakoponim, there's several Chayvelavim, Mamzer, Shtuki, Eved, Charuri, Nosin, all the Chayvelavim, of which some of them are nations. Adoimi and Mitzri and Amoni and Moyavi, Chayvelavim. If you marry them, the marriage is Chal. Yovel Isur. Kiddushin ain't Teishim Chayvelavim, we don't pass it that way. The marriage is valid marriage. So comes along the uncle, Ploini Almoini, the uncle Hagoyel, and he says, you're right, Boaz, I'm more related than you, because I am an uncle and you are only a first cousin to the late Machloin, whose wife Rus is Sahabim. Yet, I'm afraid. He didn't know. Rashi says he didn't know the halacha of Amoni V'Lamonis. He doesn't know the halacha, and therefore I don't want to marry her. You know, interesting, if you look at the reference number 2 in the Medrash in Rus. Look at this. Rabbi Shua Oimer, Plain Almoini Shmo. Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachman Oimer, Ileim hoyo midivrei Teiro. Omar Rishoyin l'meisod nishanot lo'isim, ani oilech litlo. Chasli litlo leis eini me'arev pseilos bibonai, velo yoda shekvar omo nischatcho alocha almoini v'lo almoini me'avel me'avis. The Loshen Almoini, today we want to know somebody, Almoini, Plain Almoini. Plain Almoini is someone. Oranomen. But the Medrash has a pirush on the word Almoini. Almoini means a Elam, he's a mute. You have a Cheresh, you have a Elam, he's a Elam Midivrei. What's meant he was a Elam Midivrei? He didn't know the halacha. The halacha is a So today, as much as time will enable us, we'll try to expedite and get to the understanding of Uncle Pliny Almoini, what exactly happened there, and why is he called Elam Midivrei Torah. The Amos is the Mashor Esakash in Yevom is the Fain Zayin Amud Aleph. I involve with Beis Zayin Amud Aleph. The Goyal says I cannot marry her Penashchis Nachalosi. Why? Because I'm going to have little kinderlach Amoinim lach. If he's right and he doesn't know the halacha, for whatever reason, he taught about Amoinim v'la Amoinis, the halacha is unlike Mitzri, that there is no discrimination between the genders, and Mitzri and Mitzris are the same. In Amoni, the halacha is only Amoni, not Amonis, right? And he did not know that halacha. So the question is, if he did not know the halacha, is osur to bo al chai v'lavim. Maybe I'm going to have kindlech. I'm not allowed to marry her because she's a chai v'lavim. Chai v'lavim is also over the call. I say, frag the marsho. Zog the marsho. Amoy Radike Teretz. The Be'emes is the Ramban that we mentioned in the beginning of today's Shiur, that there was a concept of Yibum by other Krovim as well. Not only his sister-in-law, but other Krovim as well. So Be'emes is the Gemara Yevom is the Dafchofim with Beis Frechtakasha, every Almon and Kohen Gadol, why is she not Neufel Yibum? There'll be a Dova Esed Echelois Haseh. The whole word of Yibum is Esed Echelois Haseh. So why Chai V'Lavim, why is Almon and Kohen Gadol no din of Esed Echelois Haseh? So the Gemara says, Gazrino Bio Rishono Atu Bio Shnia. Be'emes, for the first time when they get married, he has Esed Echelois Haseh. And theoretically, Chai V'Lavim should be Neufel Yibum. But if Baal the mitzvah is Yibum is Kaim only in the first bia, and Viter he lives with her is going to be over every time in Chai V'Lavim. So Gazrin and Chonami theoretically could have made a bias Yibum and it's fine. But Gazrino and Bia Rishono Atu Bia Shnia. As I state in Gmor in Yevom is Dafchov Beis. So the Masho Bisman of Boaz, this Gzeira of Bia Rishono Atu Bia Shnia was not Nigzer yet. So therefore, consequently, when we're going to be done in the Shaila, if you could be married to her or not, he says, if Dama ever hit her, I couldn't marry her because it's no Gzeira, so she's Amonis, and Be'emes he knew these, he didn't know the halacha Amonis, he thought he's alive. So Klapa the Chayv Elavim, I have a mitzvah Yibum, which is this Yibum from Deus and Rishenim, which also says the din of Esed Echelesaseh, and Lo Yinik Zera Gzeira Boisa Shor. What's going to be? We're going to have Kleine Kinderlach. And they are going to carry this genetic mutation of being an Amoni. I don't want to produce Amoni and not Amonis. I'm not interested. He didn't know Amonis. He thought Amoni ve'Amonis. I don't want to do that. I say, steht Masho, and alle fragen Masho, in as much that he has a heter, so what kind of excuse does he have not to do it because he may have kinder? You have a mitzvah sesame, without Xer, go ahead and do it. The Briskerov comes along, one of the masterpieces of the Briskerov, and says an andere pshat. He says as follows. Look at the Sugyas HaGemara in Yevom Estafayim Vova with Beis. You have the Gemara in front of you. Ukir'ois Shaul as Dovid Yosel Likasa Plishtim. The story is that Dovid HaMelech is a little child, and he's holding a milchama with Goliath HaPlishti, and he has a miracle, and he is able, nobody could be yochel to go Lapishti, and he throws a stone, and it's machnia Goliath HaPlishti. Steht im Posuk, Ukir'ois Shaul as Dovid Yosel Likasa Plishti, Omar el Avner, Sarah Tzov ben Mise, Omar la Doiga Doimi, Achato Mashil im Hogun Malchus, Sh'al Lov im Roi Lov Bekol in Lov, my time the comments or Simirusa Moevia. What are you asking me? She says, Shaul HaMelech asked, let's see, who is it coming from? Is he a enical of Peretz or of Zerach? If he's a Peretz, so he's Melech Peretz, get Melech Biyodei. If he's Zerach, he's only Chashiv B'Alma, he can't be a Melech. He said, what are you calling about a Melech? This guy is also Lo B'Kol. Why? Because of Yerusam Aviyah. Omale Avner Bener, the Saratzove, Tonina, we learned, Amoni V'Amoni Ma'avelo Me'avis. Frekter Elo Me'ata Doiga Adoimi Es Akasha to Avner Bener. Sitting over here, the war cabinet. Avner Bener, Doiga Adoimi was a famous old troublemaker in the Novi. We know he died a younger man, less than 35 years of age, Kol Yomim Shel Doeg, Anshe Domim Umirim Olo Yechtzu Yemeim Shtet Av Doiga Adoimi. But Elo Me'ata Doig Estem, Zochst Hazal Lomdes, Amoni V'Amoni, Mamze V'Lo Mamzers. Anybody could marry Mamzers, it's not true. Omalig mum zaksiv to mitzr velo mitzvis shani auch dem farish time de kolvar shel kid meser belach be maim dako shel ish le kadem velo dako shel ish le kadem hoyol it is all masumat le kaim anoshim kras noshim ishtik. He's trying to justify, to say a difference, why Amoni is different than Mitzri. And he's asking him kashas. I'm not getting him out, we don't have the time. But Kaponim, he asked him all the kashas, ishtik. Avner Bener is quiet. Miyad vayomer haMelech sh'al ato ben miyaelem omale nisalmo alocha nisalmo micho. Tell shal b'semer for you guys over here in the battlefield think you're going to figure it out. Yeah, I don't know besmedrish von Shaul HaMelech frag de Scheile und mesem was der Oilem sagt. Shaul, he came to the besmedrish. Omru lo yamoyne v'lamoyne me'alom avis gleich all the Talmidei Chachamim rattled off the halacha. Actually, doye kol anya kushoso. He asked him all the kashas that he chepered with Avner Bener. Ishtiku. He's silent in the besmedrish. So the Gemara bolach ruzeli. You know what bolach ruzeli means? Migeit in Yerushalayim bakletskin migreitzach zu der Zetlach zu kloppen auf dem Wand. Is dazi Eretz Yisroel tovkuf pars. Also Lo B'Kol. This is Dovid, the new hero. Is also Lo B'Kol. Miyad ve'Amosa ben Ish, Amosa ben Yeser, who was married to Avigail, who is a sister of Dovid HaMelech. He was a light, he's a young man. Omar Rova melomet shechog achar b'kishmo ve'omar kol mi she'eino shemei alocha zo yidoka b'cherev. Kach mekublani mibeis dino shel Shmuel HaRamosi, Amoni v'lo Amoni, Moav v'lo Moavis, and the next thing is Dovid Melech Yisroel Chai v'Chai. Was tut sich? He's asking a kasha. He tells him a teretz, fragt alle kasha, come to besmedrish, die größte lomdim, ishtiku, und migration zu der Zetlach. The paint is getting prepared. The glue is getting prepared. And then comes a guy who says, hey, kol mi shalosh Allah, zur elukah b'chorev, Allah Akbar. I'm threatening you. Nobody should shepherd with my shvager Dovid. And then a minute later, everything is dissolved. Zog the briskerov. Then it says, the Gemara Ksubah says, Vayikach Hasor, Gemara Ksubah of Zayin Amud Beis, Vayikach Hasor, Anoshim Mizik Na'ei, Vayom Yeshvu Poi Vayeshvu. What did he go? What did he do it for? He took 10 people to darsha the halacha of Amoni v'lo Amoni. So let's take the Gemara. Boaz Olo Ashar. He went to the Sanhedrin to darsha the halacha of Amoni v'lo Amoni. Zot b'skov azay. Beautiful. Look at the Rambam in Hilchos Mamre. Ve'al hamishpat asher yomu eilu dvorim shilumdu oisam be'echod min hamidah shater nidreshes bohem. Mikol hadover asher yagidu l'cho ze hakabola shekiblu ish mipi ish. This Rambam is talking about Zok Mamre. And the Rambam says as follows. Torah is split to two halakhi. We have a Torah Shebiksav and a Torah Shebal Peh. Torah Shebal Peh is weiter split to two halakhi. There are 38-14, or maybe different depends which minyan moine ha-mitzvahs, halachos l'Moshe Misina, which is given over from Moshe's generation to the generation, 42 generations till Chasimas HaTalmud. Those were the halachos l'Moshe Misina. Those were given, that's called halacha l'Moshe Misina. Weiter, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Moshe Torah Shebal Peh, he gave him Yud Gimel Midah Shater Nidreshes B'hem. Anybody who comes early in the morning was Korbunas, Omar Rabbi Shmuel, Kavochem B'Binyanav, Klal U'Prat U'Klal, etc., etc. Those halachas Yud Gimel Midas, this is given to the Chachamim of every generation. If you know the Gemara, the Mishnah is full of Kavochem, there's many halachas which are not given to Moshe Sinai. But they use a binyanav, a mematzin, a klal uprat, a matzad. You learn tzad hashove, kal v'chomer. You learn out from all these all these yud gimel midas with these tools given to you in the toolbox to the chacham of any generation to darshe midoylede. Zok the Rambam. Beis Din. Look at the next Rambam. In Perekei Milchas Mamim Aloch Aleph. Beis Din Godel Shadoshu Min Amidas Kefi Masheiro B'neihem Ve'omad Achareim Beis Din Acher V'nir Lo Yitam Acher Lister Arei Ze Soiser V'dan Kefi She'nir Be'enov. However, the Rambam in Perek Aleph Aloch Gimel says Divrei Kabbalah Em Be'machlekes Lo Hoylom. Ha'oylom Divrei Rambam. In the part of Torah Shebaal Peh, which is Halacha L'Moshe Misinai, it's irretrievable, irreversible, it's gone, done. You can have kashas for 9 bis ibamol. In the halacha, which is nidresh from any generation, from Yud Gimel Midrash Ater nidreshes bohem, so then, if other Beis Din come the next generation, and it says halacha, ein Beis Din yochel vatel b'id chaver elam ken godel b'choch b'miyan, subject to different contingencies of which the second Beis Din want to push off the first Beis Din. But if the other Beis Din comes in and wants to push off, it could. So there is chelik from Torah Shebaal Peh, which is never retrievable. Divrei Kabbalah and Ma'am Machlekes Lo Yilom. There are certain halachas which are retrievable and so to the Emes Yoreh Darkoi that there was a halacha of Boaz Ola Ashari, the Darshan. Now the Goyal's mistake was that he thought that this halacha of Yud Gimel Midrash Ater Nidreshes Bohem is this din of Amoni v'Amoni stems from this halacha of Yud Gimel Midrash Ater Nidreshes Bohem. Zog the Goyal as a chaynet. Amigay dan zayin if I'm allowed to marry her, not like the Marsho. I'm allowed to marry her. Why? Because right now Boaz is Moisra Atoya Beis Din HaGodel Darshes the halacha Amoni v'Amoni, so I'm allowed to marry her. But when it comes to the mistake was it was really halacha l'Moshe Misinai. So Zog the Goyel, you know what? V'to be'Amoni. He didn't know. He taught be'Amoni. He knew these halacha because he listened. Boaz right now sitting. The Gemara Kesubah says he darshed the halacha. No, he thought it should give him this. He says, you know what's going to happen? We're going to go down a few generations, and he was right. He predicted right. When it's going to come down, right now we talk about Boaz and Rus. They're going to have a son. Oivet, they're going to have a son Yisha. They're going to have a son Dovid, and somebody at Zweiter Beis Din Godel mit Bechochme Beminyan mit the grobe finger from Doiga Adoimi. He's going to come along and says, "Elomatom mamzer v'lemamzeres." Ishtiku. You know what? My marriage is valid. I have zero Yisur, not because of Esadei Chaleisaseh, because the halacha of Amoni v'Amoni right now is effective. It's gedarshet. But what's going to be Nachalas Hashem Bonim? Pen Efgoim Bezari, 100, 200 years down the road, somebody's going to come and retrieve the halacha and would ask a kasha and uproot the halacha. So comes out that all my descendant, all my kingdom, my eniklach, my ur eniklach, are going to be klein now my eniklach. Thank you so much. I give it up. That was the Masa Umaten. So it's a very nice and then Yeshtikul Torah, Shein Yeshtikul Torah, that the Goyal did not marry her because he thought the halacha of Amoni v'Amoni is to give him Midrash Ater Nidreshes Bohem. The mistake was it was halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Now Zog the Briskerov, Amosa ben Yes, actually Udoy Kolanek Ushas, they all were misled by the mistake and they thought it's Yud Gimel Midas. And when the Goyal asked the Kash and the Doeg asked the Kash, Elo Me'ata Mamzer v'Lemamzeres, Bo Lachuzele, Migration Tzud Tzatlach. Amosa ben Yeser says, Kach mekublani Beis Din Shel Shmuel HaRamos steht in Rambam in Hilchos Yisur Biyah. It's one of the halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Hosta kasha mamzer v'lemamzeres, hashein kasha of Pesach b'nacht. But it's not going to uproot the halacha of Amoni v'Amonis. Umimele Dovid Melech Yisroel chai v'kayim. It's not Amosa ben Yeser. He's pulling up his hair. Everybody's afraid from the sword. Amosa ben Yeser kach mekublani Beis Din Shel Shmuel HaRamosi Amoni v'Amonis. So Umimele the Goyal says, I can marry. I have no problem. I have only one problem. That in future generations they're going to uproot the halacha, and therefore I will remain with kleine einik lachamoinim lach silveple. Let her have. You can have her. I'm not interested. I'm not going into this deal. Atkan divrei Moran agrees in besefer. Skrov is a sefer. Problem, however, is history has its own chronology. Halacha l'Moshe Sinai goes midoir ledoir, from one generation to the next. Shmuel HaRamossi lived 354 years after Yeshua ben Nun. By the way, Boaz, anybody wants a secret, you want to have some knowledge that nobody else has. Boaz was 27 years old when Yeshua ben Nun was nifter, which means Boaz, who is Eve's son, who is the sixth Shofet, was born a year after Moshe Rabbeinu was nifter. If somebody wants to know, Shteit in Breise said Boaz was born Boaz was 27 years of age. Yeshua is Mani Melech Yisroel 28 years, so he's a year old when Moshe Rabbeinu was nifter. You look at the Rus, looks to you like at the end of times. Boaz the gewend olten Ayon, but the outside, but the erste see das Yortzeit von Moshe Rabbeinu hat geboren Boaz the Yiftzon. Okay. Now, Halacha Moshe Sinai apparently is given from generation to generation. Apparently, they're coming into Boaz generation. The Gemara Shteit, he runs and he says, there's the Halacha of Amonis in Beis Din, and all of a sudden, 354 years later, Shmuel HaRamossi shows up, and this guy comes to Kach Bekublan business. Shmuel HaRamossi and does Halacha Moshe Sinai. Where in the world does Shmuel get Halacha Moshe Sinai if it's something which is to give him Midrash Ater and Nidreshes? That Skorov says that's what he told him. Kach Bekublan, you have a kasha, or stagut a kasha, or bediv kabol lehem machlekes leilim. You can't uproot Halacha Moshe Sinai. How in the world does Shmuel get the halacha if there is no, if the whole din is Yud Gimel Midrash Ater and Nidreshes? 100%, but right now, Boaz Ola Shayro to darsha the halacha of Amoni v'Amonis. You don't have to darsha. You don't need to darsha halachas. You don't have to gather the saned. Halacha Moshe Sinai is a PDF file given from one generation to the next.
Why no one knows besides Amos? Why not a kasha? No one else.
Very good. Nocha gute kasha. In a minute, okay. In order to shed some light, I would like to offer the following explanation. Gemara in Yume, take a look at the Gemara in Yume in Daf Pei Amud Aleph. Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Shiurim ve'onshin halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Achei moim beizin shel Yavetz tiknu. Ve'aksiv eile hamitzvah she'ein hanovi rasher l'chadesh dova me'ato. Shochechu v'chozviz. The Gemara has to catch somebody, oichel chel b'zman hazeh, he has to write it settled. Maybe tomorrow it will come a different beizin b'yaba b'shurim. Yakti b'shurim, yaba b'shurim. More bottom line, the Gemara comes along and says, Rabbi Yochanan says that Shiurim, Kazayis, Revis, all the Shiurim is Halacha Moshe Sinai. Acherim oim Beit Din Shel Yavetz. Who is Beit Din Shel Yavetz? Who is Yavetz? Yavetz is Osniel ben Kenaz, state in Pasuk. Osniel ben Kenaz, who was Machzir Satayah Befilpula, who married Achso Bas Kolev in the time of Yeshua ben Nun. He was, so Machlek is in the Gemara for the Gemara Kasha. How could Osniel ben Kenaz Machzir Befilpula? Ein anovi rasher l'chadesh dova me'ato shochechum v'chozru v'yistem. Zog the Brisker, what is the pshat? The pshat is another shtickle from the Briskerov in Pintras Kiddush Achodesh Yom Sukkah. Zog the Briskerov, the pshat is like this. The shaila was if Shiurim was one of the halachas was nishtakhu b'mei evla shel Moshe or not. Rabbi Yochanan hold was never nishtakach b'mei evla shel Moshe. Mimei it's halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Mimei somebody oichel chel b'zman hazeh doesn't have to write any tzedlach on the side. It is 30 gram is an ounce. It is what it is, whatever the shear is, and it's not going to be mishtan. Others, acherim oimrim, shachechum v'chozru v'yistum. This word from the halacha, the shiurim is the halacha shenishtak b'me'evul shel. What's nafkamina? Nafkamina is if you have to write the shear of a chayil b'zman hazeh. If it's halacha Moshe Sinai, it's never going to be changeable. If it's Yud Gimel Midas, tomorrow Tchumna Beis Din, Yama b'shurim, Yamid b'shurim, Ad Kan Divrei B'Skerov. Look at the Gemara in Tmura Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. Omar Rav Yehuda Marabi Shoshen Nifta Moshe LeRabbeinu LeGan Eden. Omar LeYeshua Sh'al Mimeni Kol Sfeikas Sheyesh Lecho. Omar LeRebbi Kul Nachticho Shoachas V'Alachta L'Mokom Acher. Kosafta B'Seirosecho Meshavta Yeshua Benu Nar L'Yom Mishutei Choel. Miyad Toshash Koicho Shel Yeshua V'Nishtakchu Mimenu Gibol Meres Halochos V'Nodu L'Shvamo Esfeikas V'Omdu Kol Yisrael L'Orgoi. Says Rashi. Look at Rashi. In in reference number 15. נשתכחו ממנו מישוע בעוון שגורם להחליש דעתו של מוישה, שנצטער מוישה על ישוע בעצמו שהיו גודל כמוישה. כאילו Yeshua is shepherding with Moshe, he says, you're asking me if I need anything to know before you exit? You said I never walked away from you. Moshe Rabbeinu got Chalishes Adas, Yeshua got an Einish, he loses 300 halachas. Masnit Netana, 1800, 1700, 3000, he forgot the halachas. Afal Pichen, Osniel ben Kanas, Machzir B'tech Pilpul. Zog the Briskerov. Anything, any halacha l'Moshe Sinai, which was lechatchila given as a halacha l'Moshe Sinai, it was forgotten. And now it's chozrum v'chozru v'yizdum shochechum. Now the file becomes a Word file. It's no longer a PDF file. Now it's something which becomes, it's the same halacha. It looks the same. It smells the same. It's the same halacha. But it's machzira mitoich pulpula. So the validity of this halacha, which was forgotten and reinstated, reconstituted, became halacha, not halacha l'mishim sinai. You'd give me the shater nidreshes b'hem, and from now onwards you can manipulate with it. So shiurim, which lechatchila could have been halacha l'mishim sinai, once Yeshua forgot it, it's gone. And once it's reconstituted, he gets a different validity, a different pshat. It's not no longer halacha l'mishim sinai, but it's would give me the shater nidreshes b'hem. Now, look at this Rambam. Look at the Rambam in Akdomet Yad HaChazoka in reference number 14. Aval pishalei nichte v'teira sheba'al peh, limdot Moshe Rabbeinu kulo bebezdinu l'shivim zekenim, ve'elozor u'pinchos v'yehoshua shloshton kibel mumi Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu teaches Torah sheba'al peh, all the halacha l'mishim. He said, to who does he give it to? To the shivim zekenim, to Elazar, Pinchas, and Yeshua. Shloshtom kiblu. Look next in reference number 16. Elazar, Pinchas, and Yeshua, Shloshtom kiblu b'Moshe, ule Yeshua shu talmida shel Moshe Rabbeinu mosar Torah sheba'al peh v'tzivo aleo. V'chen Yeshua kol yimei chayev lomad al peh. So the tzivui on the Torah was given over yet a few talmidim Moshe. Elazar, Pinchas, and Yeshua. But the Yeshua was metzaveh Torah sheba'al peh. Listen to weiter. Look at the Rambam. V'zkenim rabim kiblu mi Yeshua. There were many zkenim who were mekabel Torah from Yeshua. V'kibel Eli min hazkenim u'mi Pinchas. Eli HaKoyen is mekabel from the zkenim and from Pinchas. V'Shmuel kibel me Eli u'beis din. I would like to suggest this following. Torah was given in two channels. It was given Yeshua l'zkenim, and there's other two people that sat there. One of them was the Elazar, and one of them was Nifter at that time. One of them is Pinchas, who is Kayim Lo'elam, because Pinchas Elio, we find him later, in later generations, later by Elio Anobi, we find him later. And Eli was the rabbi of Shmuel, so the rabbi was Mekabel from two sources. From the Zkenim, it's Nishmai Nashtikol Torah, Shteit the Rambam, and from Pinchas. Now, Rashi says that these halachas which were given over was nishtakho ba'avoin shegoram Yeshua lahachlish daita shel Moshe. So b'yachas to Yeshua, these halachas were forgotten, and Yeshua, who lives in one place, when they get one day to learn Sefer Shoftim, I'm going to show you the Pinchas, the whole Ma'aseh of Yiftach. Pinchas dwelled in one place, Yeshua dwelled in the whole place was split to two different machmas. Yeshua forgets as an Einish because he shepherds Moshe Rabbeinu. Osniel ben Kenaz machziro mitoich pilpuloi. But don't forget that Yeshua teaches the Zkenim, and Eli is learning from the Zkenim and from Pinchas. Did Pinchas forget the halachas? No way. He has no reason to forget the halachas. He's in his mother Moshe Rabbeinu gave over. So Moshe Rabbeinu gave the Torah right now. He's giving in two channels. Channel one, halacha b'shir sinai, given to everyone, to Yeshua, to Elazar, to Pinchas, to the Zkenim. Yeshua forgets it as an Einish, and Yeshua's Torah is reconstituted via Osniel ben Kenaz, which right now becomes Ois Halacha L'Mishim Sinai, becomes Yud Shater Nidreshes B'hem. However, Pinchas never forgot it. And when Shmuel gets it already from not only from the Zkenim, as ich steht in Rambam, ich sag nicht lieber, Eli was mekabel from the Zkenim and from Pinchas. So the same halacha he got twice. But when he gets from the Zkenim, who gets from Yeshua, clapping them, these halachas who were forgotten have a status of Yud Gimel Midashater and Nidreshes B'hem. But when he gets from Pinchas, who never forgot it, that was one of the halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Kach mekubelani bebezdin sheshmol ha'amosi. You know why? Look at the Rambam Perek Yud Ches Mihilchis Isurabiyah. The Rambam says, "Ve'amoyne v'le'amoynis halacha l'Moshe Misinai." So it's halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Who told them? Amos gefrekt do'ayid l'Moshe Levi gefrekt agute kashe. Where does Amos ben Yesser get it from? Amos ben Yesser mekublan bezdin sheshmul ha'amosi, who was mekabel from Eli, who was mekabel not only from the Zkein, who was mekabel from Yeshua, but also from Pinchas, who was mekabel from Moshe. Gewaldig. Ki ha-mitzvah azoi asher anochi metzavcho hayoim lo nifleisi v'lo yechoikoi lo me'ever layom v'lo b'shamayimi ki korov elecha adover me'oid beficho levovcho la'aseis. I would like to read a short shtickle of the Briskerov. Bir adover mitzvah nikra Torah sheba'al peh kavur b'akdom Sarambam Torah ze Torah shebiksav mitzvah ze Torah sheba'al peh. וזה הכוסף, כי המצווה הזו לא מהתורה שבעל פה לא נפלסים ממך ולא רחוקי. כפל הדבור כנגד שני חלק התורה שבעל פה. המקובל, that's הלוך למשה מסים והנדרש. ולאין הקבלה אומר לא רחוקי ולא מעבר ליום, להידרש שלא נפלסים ולא בשמיים, כי אפשר להשיגו על ידי ידיעה. וזהו שמסיים הכוסף בפיחו ובלבבך לעשייסו, והחלק המקובל הוא בפיחו, כנראה שנאמר שימו בפיהם, והחלק הנדרש תלוי בלבבך. Picha is the halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Levavcha is the koiches hanimshos. V'ayim v'Rambam b'akdoma shekosam. Lo shel Rambam. V'omar b'ficha b'levavcha l'asayisoi. V'inyan b'ficha zog the Rambam mitzvah yadu al peh. V'inyan b'levavcha asvorois shoytziu be'iyu michlal ha'koiches hanimshos el olev. You want to know something? He's a fascinating goyen. I'm telling you a goyen. Fascinating goyen. Goyen says, what's the pshat in the pasuk? Som redafuni chinam umidvorcha pochad lobi, sos alecha limrosecha kemoitze shol harav. Look at the Goyen. Som redafuni chinam haynu doyeg ve'avne sherotzu lifsol Dovid milove bekol umidvorcha pochad libi. Haynu akrosh shel Yov ve'amoinu moyavi bekol Hashem ve'al zeu mesayim sos alecha limrosecha kemoitze shol b'otzolema imrosecha haynu adrosho shel amoinu v'lo amoinis. The guy says, what a sarmer the funichinam, that's Avner and Doyeg. Umitvorcho, he said, Amoni v'mayavi, Bichlal, lo yove Amoni v'mayavi, pochad libi. Sos hanoichal, imrosecho, the guy just says the word imrosecho means, Amoni v'mayavi is kemaitze sholocho. The way we're learning that with the Biskorovi, doch maflo fellow. Sarmer the funichinam, mitvorcho, pochad libi. What slave? Steht in the Rambam. That's a koiches and imshoches min alev. You know why? Because on that day, Gadoimi is a kasha l'ma'ato mamzer v'lemamzeres. Sosa noichial imrosecho. Imrosecho is bepeh. That's halacha l'moshe mitzvah. Kemoitze shol harov. I'm good. I'm well. You can ask any kasha you want. Halacha l'moshe mitzvah is irretrievable. Ploini almeini shoyo ilaim midivre Torah. What does it mean? Is it ilaim? What does it mean, Elaim? At Nishgiat, he knew the halacha, but he thought the halacha is in Yud Gimel Midas and Imshokas Me'alev. The Boaz is darshaning right now because we are in the cold, we are in the finster. We have the halacha shenishtakho and he's machzir right now b'toich pulpuloi. But he's the Elaim. Because if you were to know that it's Imrosecho, you would have never forgotten he would have married her because there would no be halacha, the kids would not come out. Kleine Amonim Lach, Kleine Moyavim Lach. So we finished chapter 1. Mirz Hashem will be next Tavoch. We'll try to go a shtickle weiter.